Hello, my name is Sandra Cecilia Sanchez, and I'm a sophomore at Urshan College, and this is my personal calling video for Intro to Counseling. Sister Makura gave us a list of questions to answer, and the first one is, what led you to Urshan? Well, as cliche as it sounds, God. It's cliche because if you ask anyone here, they'll give you the same answer. The only difference is our backstories. So here's mine. For me, God orchestrated every step and situation for me to be at Urshan. In 2017, my junior year of high school, I began looking into colleges. I was going for psychology, and lucky for me, the college near my house had an excellent psychology program. As convenient as that was for me, I knew in myself that secular college just wasn't going to be it for me. So for fun, I decided to go to the UPCI website and see what colleges they had. And that's when I found Urshan College. So the next day, I asked my teacher/principal if he had ever heard of Urshan College, and he had a lot of good things to say about it. After that, I didn't really do much. I didn't do much with it. I prayed about it. I prayed if I should go to Urshan, but I didn't really continue looking into it, I guess. But Urshan was my first pick, and actually only pick for college. That probably isn't smart. You should have at least 2 or 3, just in case you didn't get in, but I really felt that I needed to be here, so it was my first and only pick for college. And actually, when I told my good grandma where I was thinking about going to college, she kind of mocked the idea of going to a Bible college, and in a sense bribed me to come back home to California and go to school there. That way she'd pay for it, So just like some of my friends, I guess, they had to give up scholarships because God told them to come here. I also, in a sense, gave up free schooling. Anyways, moving on. Every time I prayed about Urshan, I felt an insane feeling of peace. And I just knew that somehow, someday, I was going to be attending Urshan. My junior year ended, summer passed by, and now I was in my senior year of high school. Life had gone on, and I was at the beginning of a trial that would last the next year and a half. So much was going on that I had forgotten that God was making a way for me to go to Urshan. Life continued, things got harder, and through experience, as much as I hated what was happening, I learned a lot. It was graduation, and God was not giving me anything else about what I was going to do after I received my diploma. I remember specifically writing in my speech, and I kind of chuckled as I said this. I said, at some point I'll be attending Urshan College. But as of now, I will continue to wait on God. Graduation night ended, we went home, but just 2 days later, after graduating, I moved back home to California. Do you know how hard it is to wait on God, when it seems like deadlines are coming up quick? Well, I was stressing, not even gonna lie. As much as I wanted to stop time even just for a little bit, summer just seemed to continue zooming by without my permission. How rude. I kept asking God what he was doing and if he could let me in on it. That would be nice. But no answer. 4 weeks before Urshan is supposed to start their fall semester in 2019, my teacher calls me and says, "Hey, are you still wanting to go to Urshan?" And of course, I said yes. He continued to explain to me that Urshan had just moved up on the ladder of accreditation, enough so that I'd be able to attend. The next 4 weeks was a process that included writing multiple papers and getting things situated for me to move across the country. I was accepted into Urshan, thankfully, 2 weeks before school was to begin. Imagine that. You talk about procrastinating, like, okay, God, I see you. Now, the ending is pretty evident, seeing that I'm here and have been for a little over a year now. So, to wrap that question up, definitely God that led me to come to Urshan. Question number 2. What led you to want to help others? It's a very easy question, I guess, to answer. As in it's very short, but the words in it is pretty profound. But because we use it so much in our everyday language, we just don't really think of the actual definition of the words. But I'll keep going. Helping others has always been a part of who I am, because I'm a natural caretaker. But realistically, I grew up quick, but in the sense where I saw the world for what it is and was. I saw the hurt, the brokenness, and pretty much everything that a child should be protected from. I grew up in brokenness, so I know firsthand what emotions and things go through one's mind. As sad as it was to grow up in those circumstances, I definitely call it a blessing, because God has confirmed that through all of it, I'll be able to reach people for His glory. So that's the positive side to that. But to answer the question, I guess, more clearly, I felt led to help others because I want to be that person for someone else that I needed, I guess, when I didn't have anyone to really guide me through those situations. As far as what I feel God is asking me to do, I really liked how you disguise this question in the sense where you put, what do you feel God is asking you to do? Because if it was, I just found it funny how you disguised it. But as far as I know, God is asking me to be that person that shows love to those who we would say don't deserve to be shown love, I guess, in a sense. Like, for example, that drunk person walking on the sidewalk, or that person, that backslider, when they left the church and all they ever do now is talk bad about it. I feel that that's what God is asking me to do, besides the basics, like just love your neighbor as yourself. But I feel this really strongly that I need to show that love to those who our world would say don't deserve it, because they're also human and God died for them as well. And a lot of us, or at least like from my point of view, like I needed that. And I used to be in their place, in their situations. And by God's grace, I am now saved, and I want to be that for someone else. What do you feel your strengths are? Having me write this out, actually, you didn't have me write it out. I wrote it out so I knew what I was going to say. But writing this out really helped me, I guess, see, because it really made me think what my strengths were. And I feel that my strengths, some of them are being able to understand, being able to relate to someone in a level where probably others wouldn't, just because of past experience. Also, thinking logically, I can not easily, but when it comes to other people, I can separate my emotions and that part of me that wants to sympathize with them, and also think of it the other direction, like thinking logically and what they need to do, I guess. I've been told that I have a deep love for people, and I agree with that. Of course, I don't show it as much as I should, or I don't let myself show that. Still working on that though. But I feel like a strength of mine is loving people deeply, Being forgiveful. There's been some times where I could have very easily still held a grudge against them, but you know, like I said earlier, we're all human, we all make mistakes. The only difference from us and that person out there is that we've been saved, and if I don't forgive them, you know, like what am I showing? Who am I representing? And another one would be showing mercy, kind of follows along with the forgivefulness, you know. Question number 5. Where do you feel you need to grow as a Christian and a servant? I feel that as a Christian, I need to be more approachable in the sense that people feel safe coming to me. Not saying that I'm not, it's just that, you know, when I've asked around what people first thought of me when we first met, they say I was quiet, so they didn't know how to approach me, which is true. I'm very quiet, but I'm also, I guess I need to be more welcoming. I need to grow that area in my life. And final question, where do you want to be in 10 years in relation to helping others through human services, ministry, or etc.? This one, it's kind of hard to answer this specific question. It was kind of hard to answer it because I don't really know what I'm called to do specifically. But I see myself counseling, not necessarily the counselor that someone goes and visits in an office, but I want to counsel children specifically. I have a big burden for children because they don't have control as to where they're placed at, and also it's the problems for childhood that go with them into adulthood. So my thought on that is, if we can help the children while they are children, and while the hurt and traumatic experience is recent, then we can help the child experience, we can help them grow and experience what childhood is, and then prevent them from carrying that baggage into adulthood. So, like I said, I don't really know what specifically I'm called to do, I don't know what I will be doing in 10 years. Obviously, no one does. But I really want to help kids. That's where my heart is at. So, this is my personal calling video.